Relationships that build wealth, create opportunities, the right solutions. That's what we do at J&N Fund Managers.
We're in pursuit of your financial security.
Portfolio and investment management services for individuals and corporate clients, from wealth building and risk management to preparing for a comfortable retirement. Strong, stable, secure.
We're in pursuit of your success.
Let's talk. J&N Fund Managers, your safer, smarter financial partner.
Well, a very good morning and welcome once again to Your Goals Realized. And I'm Nadine Blair, and this morning we have with us Dolores. Good morning, Dolores.
Good morning, Nadine. Good morning, Love 101 family. How are you this Tuesday morning?
Good.
Great. Well, one of the beautiful things about the world of investing, Nadine, is that there's always something happening. Never a dull moment. And if you're a savvy investor, then most often there's either a way to turn whatever is happening into an opportunity, or to look behind the event for a way to make it work to your advantage.
Indeed.
Just like life.
Just like life. Positive words indeed to begin the program with. Always an opportunity or a rainbow to be found, right?
Absolutely. And it's our job to find that rainbow, Nadine. We have to be active rather than passive in looking out for our own welfare. It's important to work hard, but we also have to work smart. Our listeners are the smart ones, as they are ensuring that they keep on top of what's happening financially by listening to this program. Well, last week we spoke about equities, and with that topic always comes the issue of safety and security of our investments. Some persons are tempted to be paralyzed by fear and delay making investment decisions because they fear losing the value of their money. I have a simple response for that. If you have such a deep-seated fear, then that's the very reason you should be investing.
Okay then, Dolores. Well, keep me with you, okay? What are you saying? If you're afraid of losing your money when investing, then that is the very reason that you should invest?
Yes, Nadine, I know it sounds strange when we say it that way. So let's go through it and let me explain. Sitting and watching your money without investing it or hiding these dollars away so that you don't lose them is a surefire way of not earning. In fact, while you have the money, say hidden under your mattress, for example, it's actually losing value. It has lost the potential to earn income for you and is gradually losing value for you by way of inflation, devaluation, and other such realities. It is better to learn how to invest wisely or to ask for help. Don't become paralyzed by fear. So this morning, we're looking at how to invest without these deep-seated fears. And I must qualify that, as I don't want to make light of the situation, Nadine. I want us to look at it as replacing paralyzed fear with empowering information. First of all, let's look at the different types of risk involved in investment and how we can ensure that we empower ourselves and our listeners to protect our investment against these risks.
Okay.
All right, the first risk I want to touch on this morning is currency or exchange rate risk. This is a risk that arises from the change in price of one currency against another. The constant fluctuation in the foreign currency vis-a-vis one's home currency may add risk to the value of your investment. And I'm sure that a lot of our listeners can relate to this in particular. As we have seen the devaluation of our Jamaican dollar against major counterparts, with the US dollar being a bit over 122 to 1 Jamaican dollar at this time. So to protect against this kind of risk, investors may need to convert a part of their investable funds into another currency that has greater value than ours.
Okay.
And to purchase foreign securities with good yields and safety. Right. Another risk I want to touch on this morning is interest rate risk. This is a possibility that a fixed rate debt instrument will decline in value as a result of a rise in interest rate. So when investors buy securities that offer a fixed rate of return, they're actually exposing themselves to interest rate risk. So again, it's very important that you not only as an individual listen and learn about what's happening in the environment, but also seek advice from a professional who will be able to help you understand the current investment climate and the type of investment to look for. Example, a fixed rate versus a variable rate investment, depending on what is happening in the climate. We also want to touch a bit on credit risk. This refers to the possibility that a particular bond issuer will not be able to make expected interest rate payments or even the principal repayment. However, there lies a lot of information to assist with guidance here. Information from rating agencies, information from investment houses, and information in varying forms through the media. Typically, the higher credit risk, the higher the interest rate on the bond. So, as an investor, you will have to determine the amount of risk you are willing to take in order to obtain the type of return that you desire. And finally, we're going to be touching a bit on inflationary risk. And a lot of us also can relate to that. And this is also known as purchasing power risk. This is the chance that the value of an asset or income will be eroded as inflation shrinks the value of the country's currency. Put it another way, it is the risk that future inflation will cause the purchasing power of cash flow from an investment to decline. The best way to fight against this type of risk is through appreciable investments such as stocks or convertible bonds, which have a growth component that stays ahead of inflation over the long term and the life of the security. So listeners, in summary, the important thing as investors is to know the types of risk involved with the type of investment that you're looking, and work with your investment advisor to look at ways that you can mitigate against this risk. And I'll share with you some pointers when you're planning to purchase any of these securities. One, do your own personal research. Read the fine prints associated with the investment. Speak with a licensed professional and don't hesitate to ask questions. Get clarification and ensure that you understand prior to going ahead. Don't just get excited because the rate of return you hear. Understand and appreciate the risk-reward relationship associated with this type of investment, and ensure that you're in your personal comfort zone with the risk. If there is a fear associated with this investment, ask yourself, can I accept the risk as part of my everyday reality? How do I manage this risk? Are you fearful because you don't have enough information and you don't do your due diligence? It's important, Nadine, to ensure that you get the fact. So listeners, there is much value in having a financial plan rather than just deciding to enter in this particular investment because, as we say in Jamaica, it sounds good. Creating that financial plan and evaluating the plan with a professional is the best way to invest in. And listeners, I must also tell you again, fear is healthy. but do not become paralyzed by it.
Okay, that's a good saying for many reasons, and that takes us back to the point, of course, understanding the fears and replacing them with knowledge. That's another good line too.
Right.
And we have to know our realities and not drift from one stage to the next, hoping for the best.
Yes, that's right, Nadine. It's about planning. It's about understanding. It's about making use of the support we have around us, not allowing our fears to control us. So I repeat the assurance I shared last week. The client welfare at Jane Fund Managers is at the core of our business. And that is why we do this program every Tuesday morning.
All right. And that's why Love 101 too is happy to have Your Goals Realized available to our listeners.
Thank you, Nadine, and thank you, Love 101 listeners. And if you have joined us late, you may listen to this program on Jane Fund Managers' Facebook page later on today. Please email us your questions at jnfundmanagers@jnbs.com. And our text number is 504-1719. That's 504-1719.
All right. Thank you so much, Dolores, for sharing today. And thank you, listeners, for making it Love 101. You've been listening to Your Goals Realized, brought to you by JN Fund Managers Limited. Catch us again next week for another program in the series.
Relationships that build wealth, create opportunities, the right solutions. That's what we do at J&N Fund Managers.
We're in pursuit of your financial security.
Portfolio and investment management services for individuals and corporate clients, from wealth building and risk management to preparing for a comfortable retirement. Strong, stable, secure.
We're in pursuit of your success.
Let's talk. J&N Fund Managers, your safer, smarter financial partner.